Alright folks, welcome back to another Gemstone Legends video. And just before we start today's video, if you would like to try out this game and get some really cool items to start the game off, please just download the game using this QR code here. And right up above, if you use the code #Iamsteamin in the global chat, you'll get a bunch of free stuff, including an epic hero, some gold, some scrolls, loads of stuff to get you started in this game, so please make sure and do that. But yes, today I would like to cover what I believe to be the top 10 rares in this game, because the rares in this game are insanely good. Now, I do plan on doing this for epics and legendaries as well. I'm probably going to leave out uncommons and commons because they're more like food heroes, to be brutally honest. I'm sure there's a few you can use, but the stats aren't great on them. But the rares in this game are exceptionally good. Better than Rage rares anyway, I can definitely say that. And a lot of them are used in top tier endgame teams, so they're definitely worth putting the effort into getting them to 6-star, putting books into them, and now awakening them since this new update comes out. So as with any of these type of videos, like I've said in the past, making raid videos, this isn't gospel. So this top 10 might not be your top 10. It's very subjective. I mean, what hero you need is going to depend entirely upon your account. So my number one hero on this rare list might be there for whatever reason I put him there. But if you have a legendary or epic hero that does the stuff he does or she does, even better, there's no point in you putting him at the top. It might be someone like down the list, maybe 7th or 8th, that comes into your account and is able to fill a role that you're not able to get with any of the rest of your heroes in your team. So yeah, it's account subjective completely, but this is just a rough guide to what I think are the top 10 rares in this game just now. Just to help anyone out new, you might be pulling a bunch of scrolls and you might not know who's good and who's maybe not so good to keep. So this will give you a good idea if you pulled a really decent rare or not, and if it's worth putting your investment into, because I believe any of the top 10 on this list are worthy of 6-starring and putting the effort into getting them right up to the top. Sometimes it's actually a little better to rank up rares, especially if you're in a free-to-play account, because you've got a very limited amount of legendary tomes that you get in this game, or in any game like this. Same with Raid, it's legendary books. And yeah, they're very difficult to get. So if you have a bunch of legendaries built up, it's going to be difficult to maximize their stats because you're not going to be able to get the tomes to increase their value. Epics are a little bit easier to do, but it's still, epic tomes are not easy to get, whereas rare tomes are easy. And not only that, it's really easy to just get copies of the rares which count as tomes. So if I, for instance, have Floki and I have a bunch of folk from that family, like Altans, Flokis, all those kind of people, I can use any of those new ones that I pull from a scroll just to count towards using one of the tomes, so it saves you a lot of time and effort. So yeah, rares are great, guys. You really want to level them up. I know most good accounts are going to have a ton of good solid rares in every colour built for various different circumstances in the game. So without further ado, let's get into my top 10. So coming in at number 10, we're in the Forest Keepers here, and we're going to the Forest Dryads family. And we're choosing Nepta here. They're all tank wardens who are a great class of heroes. And this girl, to be honest, could have been higher up the list, but I just haven't tried her in that much content yet. Not as much as a lot of the other heroes on this list, so I need to play with her a bit more, but she seems really strong. So she's a red, rare tank warden. She has really good stats, great base mana gain, really good base speed, decent survivability in here. She's not built for doing damage, but she is built for giving everybody accuracy. So she's got a lead, which is 20% in everywhere. So that's everywhere from rifts to raid boss to arena to campaign. Everywhere in the game, she will give an extra 20% increase accuracy to all of your allies. But then on top of that, her special ability actually increases accuracy to all other allies for 4 turns. So that's a 4-turn, 40% increase accuracy. So altogether, you're looking at 60% if she's in lead, which is a huge amount, and it's going to make sure you can land all those negative statuses on your enemy teams. She also grants mana breath to all allies for 4 turns, so another 4-turn ability, which is good. And mana breath actually gives you +4 to your mana gain, so that happens every time you match gems, so you're going to gain a bunch more mana with this on as well. So not only are you going to increase the accuracy, you're going to let everybody use their special abilities more often, so it's just a win-win situation. And then she has a really cool passive that recovers 3% HP for each status granted to an ally. So for granting statuses to any of your allies, you're going to be able to heal yourself. So not only does she increase your mana, increase accuracy, but she also heals herself up. So very strong rare, Could be higher in the list, but I'm just going to put her in at number 10 for now. So at number 9, we're going to the Iron Clans, and one of my favourite heroes actually is in the Orc Grunt section. He is Varnag. Now this guy is a blue attacker and they're warrior attackers. He has good base speed, pretty low mana gain. He's a hard hitting guy though, this is what he's all about. His stats aren't quite as good as like the last hero, like Nepta, but what he lacks there he makes up in his ability. So not only does he deal damage to a single enemy straight up 386% of attack, he also gains increased attack for 3 turns. So he puts increased attack up on himself, which is an extra 50%, and then through his passive he actually has a 100% chance to gain increased critical damage for 6 turns at the start of each wave. Mana gain increased by 2 permanently, that's if you book him all the way. This is really strong. I think he might be like the only hero in the game that's able to put increased attack and increased crit damage up on himself. And it's for 6 turns at the start of each wave, so really, really good. I love the name of this ability. My axe, very strong. Wild attack. So although his base attack isn't crazy high, the fact that he's putting both of those increases up without relying on another hero to do it means he's very, very strong. So you could stick him in as like a big single target hitter, and you could just have a bunch of sort of CC heroes and healers and stuff like that, because he just does it all himself. So very, very cool hero, like him a lot. And being a blue hero, he's going to be a killer for something like Phoenix 20, any red raid bosses, things like that. Yeah, he's a really cool hero. So we don't have to go far to the next one. It's the Iron Clans again. They've got some great heroes, especially in the rare ones here. There's loads of other ones I could have actually put in this top 10. I'm sure other people would put them in, but this is the top 10 that I have chosen. And I would like to go with Gorak here, who is another tank bruiser. He's a rare hero, he's purple base, so he's got the good affinity against yellow, but obviously yellow's strong against him. He's got reasonable speed, fairly decent mana gain, quite a little bit low, a little bit better attack this time, but he deals a ton of damage again. He deals damage to himself, which is very interesting, 30% of his HP, but then deals damage to a single enemy, 367% attack, ignores 40% of defense, which is huge. So that's effectively like the enemy team always having a 40% reduction in defense whenever he's attacking them, which is massive. But it doesn't just stop there. His attack is increased by 8% for every 10% missing HP on his passive here. So if he takes that chunk off him, which is the frenzy, so he takes 30%, suddenly he's going to get 3 times 8, which is 24% extra attack right off the bat if you're using that special ability. But if the fight's drawn on and he's even lower, he's just going to gain a ton of attack whenever he's low on health. So people are going to have to be really careful about attacking this guy, because you don't want to leave him on a slither of health, because he'll just come back and one-shot anyone. Yeah, really, really cool hero. I like the way he's built, his kit, pretty cool artwork as well on this guy. So that is at number 8. So coming in at number 7, we're going into the Empire here. We're looking at the Grumpy Dwarfs, and we're going to be covering Bavrik. Now, Bavrik is a really cool dwarf in this game. He's yellow affinity, he's from the Empire, he's a bruiser tank, and he's got some decent stats, decent speed, really good HP, low mana gain, but yeah, everything else is pretty reasonable, decent defense. But this guy hits like a truck. With that HP being at 14k, he actually deals damage to a single enemy 42% of his max HP. So the more you can increase his HP with gear, the more damage he's going to do. And he ignores 20% of defense. Now, I don't know if you've noticed the trend here, but anyone that deals damage and ignores defense is amazing. Ignore defense is such a strong ability in this game. I used Arthur, he's one of the best heroes in the game I've got, and he just smacks people because he ignores 20% of defense. I know the guy before actually ignored 40, or was that the guy before that? Can't remember now. But yeah, this guy is able to deal damage off HP, which not only does damage, but it actually makes him survive longer as well, because he's got a ton of HP. So that's why this guy's a little higher than the other ones. Plus he ignores 20% in defense. And he's got this really cool ability here, which just straight up increases his resistance and a double mana gain as well. So his mana gain might be low, but you can increase it to 19, which is pretty respectable. And then if you can use him alongside like mana breath heroes, then he's going to deal a ton of damage. But yeah, the fact that he can hit so hard and he's really, really good at surviving hits too, plus he's got this built-in resistance so he doesn't really get debuffed as much. He's just an all-star at dealing damage. Really, really good hero, this guy. So coming in to the Forest Keepers again, this is a Forest Dryad this time, and this is someone, we had Nepta before, this is Hempy we're going to be covering, who is a tank warden again. Now, Hempy could have easily been higher up this list, and maybe she should have been, because she's that good. But anyone could basically argue with me that she's top 3, top 4, and I would not argue back with them, because she's that good. So what does she do? She's a green hero. She's in the Forest Keepers, tank warden. She has very good mana gain at 24, extremely fast at 210, decent HP, a little low in defense and attack, but you will see what she does here. So she actually gains increased attack to all other allies for 4 turns and increased defense to all other allies for 4 turns. So 4 turns is really strong, but the thing that makes her really good is her base speed's 210, and her speed is increased by 2 for every 150 defense. An extra mana gain as well puts her up to 25, which means she only needs to match 4 to use her ability again. So you can see why she's so good. With that base speed, and the fact that if you pump her defense up crazy high, she's going to be insanely fast, and she's also going to be using this ability over and over again, and the fact that it only uses the 4 matches to do it means that she's going to be able to keep these positive statuses up pretty much for the whole game, which makes her so strong in any content. You know, increased attack and increased defense together makes your guys deal more damage, and they can take a ton more damage, because it's 50% for each of them, which is a massive boost. She's insanely good for arena defense teams, I've noticed. A few times when I started playing this game and I didn't really know how things worked, I went in with my legendary heroes and kept attacking what I thought were easy teams because they were all rares. Turns out, yeah, she's a nightmare. She just keeps everyone alive, makes sure they do a load of damage as well. So very strong hero. Definitely build her up if you get the chance. She is insanely fast as well, which is really cool. And number 5, the halfway spot, we're going back into the Empire. And we're going for the Field Medics this time, who are a really cool group of heroes. We've got the middle one here, the purple one, which is Richard. He is a support specialist hero. And he, yeah, like I say, purple based in the Empire. He has got good mana gain, he's got decent enough defense and HP, he can survive, reasonable speed. But the thing that makes him so strong is not only that he heals a target's max HP to all allies of 19%, so it's a heal all allies straight up, very good on its own, but he also grants immunity to all allies for 3 turns. Now, anyone playing this game, immunity is so important in this game. It will block all negative statuses coming towards you completely. It's one of the strongest positive statuses in the game, to be honest, and because he's able to heal everyone as well, he heals all your guys, puts immunity on, and there's very few heroes in this game that can actually remove positive statuses from the opposing team, so this makes it so strong, especially the fact that you can use it on the special ability and keep using it over and over again. It just means they're going to be taking so much less damage in the long run. It's so good against arena, raid boss, everywhere in the game, rifts as well. You definitely want to build up this guy because he's one of the best at putting on the immunity status because he puts up that heal too. Now, he does have a really cool passive as well. 5% decreased damage taken for every positive status affecting him. So as you can see, he's going to have 1 from here, but if you pair him with someone like the previous hero, which is Hempy, she's going to put increased defense and increased attack on. He's going to have the immunity buff, and suddenly that's going to be 15% decreased damage taken for every positive status. So you can see where this can snowball out of control and mean that he's tough as anything, plus he's going to be able to stop all the negative statuses coming on. So another top hero. So we're moving into the top 4 now, and we're into the Iron Clans again for the Barbarian Maidens. And yes, you've guessed it, it is none other than Ketra, who is not only one of the best rare damage dealers in the game, but she's also just one of the most widely used damage dealers in the game because she's that good. Even above things like epics and legendaries, she is so strong. So the thing that makes her strong is she does all her damage based on defense. So she's a red hero, attacker warrior. She's got pretty low mana gain, not actually super high defense, funnily enough, considering she does damage based on defense, but I'll explain why that doesn't matter in a second. She's got very good base attack though, so her gemstones will deal a ton of damage, good speed, She does have a defense leader everywhere, so she straight up just gives 20% extra if you don't have another lead, so that's always useful because you can use it everywhere. But she does have this incredible special ability which gains increased defense for 4 turns, which is a 50% increase in defense, then deals damage to a single enemy, 403% of defense. Now 403% is a massive hit. That's actually bigger than some of the legendaries in this game that deal damage based on defense. Granted, they have more in their kit and they've got more stuff they can do, and their base defense is much higher, so it's a little misleading there. But the fact that she's able to put up increased defense first is going to negate the fact that her base defense is only actually 1250. It's going to increase it a load and then deal a massive hit, 403% damage. I mean, I've seen her smacking for like 40-50k plus in the raid boss. She's unbelievably good, honestly. But then she has a very good passive as well, which is really simple. Straight up 50% extra crit damage, plus mana gain as well by 2. So the mana gain will be 20, which means she's right up to that good number where it takes 5 gems to match to use her ability again. So she's able to use her ability fairly often. And a 50% increase in crit damage is not to be laughed at either. So just an amazing damage dealer, not only in the rares, but just throughout the game. One of the best damage dealers. I would highly recommend building her up for content, especially when you're attacking green content, stuff like the green raid boss. She will smack super hard. Now we're moving into the top 3. This was difficult. There's 2 people in the top 3 that I think everyone would expect to see, but I'm actually going to throw my curveball in there because I'm not sure if everyone will have this guy at number 3, but I really believe this guy deserves a spot in the top 3. And that is back in the Empire. We're looking at field medics, and we're going straight to Benedict here. He's a yellow hero, he's a specialist healer, and he has good mana gain, decent enough speed, really good HP, pretty low defense. But what he does is he actually removes negative statuses from all allies, 1 from each ally, and also has a massive heal, 24% of target's max HP to all allies. So he's kind of like the opposite of Richard, I guess, in a way, but he's got a bigger heal, plus removing negative statuses from an ally is so big in this game. There's just not many people that can do it. So he's a cleanse and he's a heal, but he's also got this incredible passive here, which is defense is increased by 5 for every 350 HP. Now there's other abilities in this game which say like, oh, you might gain accuracy for more HP, for more crit rate, but this is straight up HP and defense are the 2 things that keep someone alive in this game. And the fact that he's getting a bonus from defense and from HP straight up just to begin with, but then he's getting another boost to his defense on top of it for having more HP, so he's just going to be super tanky. You know, he's really tough to kill, this guy. That's why I've had him at number 3. You know, because he's yellow affinity, he's kind of like a mini Guinevere for people starting the game. He is such a good hero if you're starting the game out and you just want to cruise through some of the content a little bit easier, because he's just going to keep everyone alive, cleansing them, healing them, staying alive himself because he's tough as nails. Yeah, I mean, the fact he does have 1139 defense, which is a little low, but that's completely negated by this bodybuilder ability, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. And the fact that he's got 14k HP, which is big for a rare hero, means he's going to be able to boost this super high. Really good hero, would highly recommend building him. So moving into the top 2 now, at number 2, we're back in the Empire at the Twisted Dwarfs this time. Insanely good family, this lot. We're going to Floki. Now, Floki is nuts. He is the sort of hero that not only is he a good rare, but you should just have him in your team regardless of how many heroes, legendary or epic, you have in the game. He is just that good. You really need to build this guy up. I'm pretty sure everyone at endgame will have a built up Floki. What does he do? He's a green hero. He's a specialist support hero from the Empire. He has got decent mana gain, very fast. He's got decent survivability in HP, but he's got very good defense, 1425, which is really strong. But he's able to actually grant immunity to allies for 4 turns and an increased speed for 4 turns on a special ability, which is insanely strong. Like I mentioned before, immunity is what Richard does, and the fact that he's able to put it on with a speed buff, which everyone knows speed is like the #1 thing really in this game. You need to go first before your opponents to start landing your statuses down before they do. It's really strong. So he can put down immunity and speed buff on a 4 turn, and he's got decent enough mana gain, so he's going to be able to use it quite a lot. He also has an insanely good passive. Defense is increased by 30 for every 10 speed, an extra 1 mana gain as well. So the faster you build him, the more tanky he's going to be as well. So he's going to be super hard to kill, super fast, and he's going to be making everyone immune and super fast as well. So more turns equal more chances to win. Just an insanely good hero. That is Floki. I'm sure everyone expected him to be on the list. But without further ado, let's get to the number 1. And it's literally right next to Floki. We're looking at the almighty Altan. Everyone probably expected this guy to be number 1, and I don't think anyone can argue he's that good. So Altan is a blue specialist warlock in this game. Pretty much everybody has a built-up Altan on their account. Why is he so good? He's got 24 base mana gain, insanely good. Decent enough speed, he's pretty survivable, decent amount of HP, decent amount of defense, just pretty reasonable stats all around except for the mana gain, which is really good. But he puts down the most important negative stats in the game, which is decreased defense on all enemies for 3 turns. And he also deals damage based on 18% of his max HP. But his passive is really cool, where his accuracy is increased by 5% for every 3200 HP. So normally when you've got a hero like this, if he's landing decreased defense, the only thing you want him to do is land decreased defense. So you're basically going to build him with like no attack, no crit damage, crit rate, and you just want him to stack accuracy to the max to make sure he lands this. But this guy's really good because he does damage based on HP on his special here, but if you just boost his HP, he's going to get a bunch of accuracy just from boosting the HP too. So you're boosting the survivability and his damage and his debuff potential all at the same time, which makes him insanely strong. You just have to use him to see how good he is. He's pretty much in all the teams that I can get him into. He's very, very good. I'd highly recommend building this guy if you pull him. And if you guys do have him, I'm sure you've built him up already. So that's my top 10, guys. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Anything you would change to it, please leave as well. I'm totally well aware that this is all subjective. This is my opinion. It's not gospel. Don't take it as gospel. But I can confidently say that any of these heroes that I've showed in this top 10 are definitely worthy of a build-up at this point in time anyway. If you're watching this video in the future and it's a year later, maybe the meta's changed completely and some of these guys are useless, but I'm sure you'll figure that out by now. But anyway guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel and download Gemstone Legends if you haven't already and give it a shot using all the codes that I told you at the start of the video. So that's it guys, have a great day. Peace.